Hey, what's up? This is Jason Drone. Welcome to Monday morning's episode of Get Shit Done Daily. So, if you can hear me all right, let me know. That would be fantastic in the chat box or the comments box. For those of you who are watching this on my profile, go to my Facebook or go to the Done For You Facebook page. You can actually ask questions and stuff. So, grab the link here real quick so I can throw it into the comment box. Make sure you like this, share it, all of that other happy, fun stuff. That would be very, very much appreciated. So this is the FB page for commenting. It should be going out to all of them. All right, cool. So it looks like YouTube rejected your comment. All right, whatever. So went to one, but not the other. Whatever. So anyway, first of all, thank you so much for joining us for today. So over the weekend, actually got a 3D printer fired up. It was probably 3 or 4 years old. It's sitting right here, actually, which is, I got all these random like 3D printing tools around me at the moment. So yeah, just for, shits and giggles. Today, what we're going to talk about is writing sales copy and writing sales content. And here's the reason why. So last week we talked a lot about lead generation. We talked a lot about lead funnels and bringing people into your world so that you're able to market to them through email, through automation, through all of those ways that we try to market to them, especially when you can't meet with somebody face to face. And my specialty really is in helping companies create inbound marketing flows, inbound marketing channels. So you don't ever have to do cold calling. You don't ever have to do cold email if you have the right automated system that is bringing people to you day in and day out. That's the idea of an automated inbound marketing sales funnel. So at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want people to come in and give us their email address and fill out an application or buy something or whatever. So what we're going to talk about today is this idea of sales copy. So this is an article that we wrote quite a couple years ago. But basically, this is kind of going to be the basis of what we're going to talk about today. So the first thing I want to cover is our sales assets. So what we do when we are creating sales material, sales content, it comes in a number of different shapes and sizes. So the first is any written word that you write needs to have some sort of sales psychology and sales connotation to it. It has to. You have to sell people. So your emails should be written in a way to move somebody closer to the thing you want them to do, which is buy something from you. Now, your emails, your web pages, your landing pages, everything is written to incite an action. And if it's not written to incite an action, then it has no place being on your website. Because at the end of the day, you are here to generate revenue, and people come to your website looking for solutions for their problems. I mean, that's literally what business is. So you have to move people in the direction of buying something from you. So that's what your website does. Now, email and every page on your website needs to be written so that it is moving somebody closer to making a purchase decision. However, there are a couple pieces that are exceptionally important in this process. So anything sales related, anything attached to a buy button, an add to cart button is super, super important. It needs to be architected in a way that basically makes people move through the sales copy and ultimately towards a purchase decision. So webinars, sales videos, sales videos for your sales pages, sales copy, those are what we call sales assets, sales material. Every single sales funnel has one of those assets. You literally cannot sell anything without having some piece of sales copy. So you can't just throw up a buy button and say, well, here's a buy button, maybe click it, maybe don't. I don't care, whatever. I mean, you're not going to sell shit. That's as simple as it is. So how it works is if you are promoting something that is $1,000 or more, a service, a product, a digital product, whatever, then you need to have a webinar. That webinar needs to move somebody through the buying cycle, through the buyer's journey, from being introduced to you and learning about you to delivering some kind of content or value, and then ultimately to buy something at the end, to transition into a sale. And if that sale is highly complex or highly expensive, then it needs to be sold on a sales call. If it is not complex and not expensive, then you can sell it from an add to cart button. So that's the flow on a webinar. Now, the webinar needs to be 50 or 60 slides. Generally, if you have a very busy target market, then it's going to be something that you can kind of shorten it because people are busy, so they sign up, they attend, whatever. So at the end of the day, though, they move through this buyer's journey online. Now, on a sales video, so if it's something under if it's under $1,000, then typically you need a couple sales videos and you need a couple, ways to go about the sales process. And my camera just auto-focused and it's been weird. So, boom, 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 boom. All right, so you know what? We're just gonna, it fixed itself. Lovely. All right, sales videos. So the sales videos on the sales page, they need to be shorter. So oftentimes you're gonna find sales videos when you're selling a book, when you're selling a free plus shipping offer, when you're selling something lower ticket and easier to understand. Digital product, a couple $100, $100, $47, $12, whatever. It doesn't matter. But when it's easy to understand and when it's lower ticket, then the sales video itself, is kind of this little mini self-contained sales person that is literally just chilling there waiting to sell people all friggin' day long. That's its goal. That's what a sales video does. Now, sales videos between 4 to 6 minutes is ideal. Now, some people are like, well, but my videos are only 60 seconds. Whatever, make them longer. So you need to go through a buyer's journey. And there's a couple things, that you need to understand in terms of writing sales copy. The first is you need to know your audience. Whether it's writing a sales video or whether it's writing a webinar, you have to know who it is you're marketing to. So you need to know what their fears are. You need to know what problem they are looking to solve. You need to know what their motivations are. You need to know why they are seeking a solution. Now, this is never, ever, ever, ever more important than it is right now. Because everybody is scared. Everybody has these deep-seated emotions. Everybody is wondering what the fuck to do tomorrow and next week and the next month, and how their situation, their problem, has now it's blown to this whole other magnitude because they are working from their house, because they are fearful of losing their job, because of all of these other things. Your target market is different. Your target market. I mean, your target market, not only do they have these problems that they're seeking solutions through, but they also have this now that there's an added filter, which is coronavirus, which is fear, which is doubt. And they always have those, but now it's just kind of blown to a whole nother magnitude. So knowing your audience, now you have to put that new frame on for your audience and say, what does that person need? What do they need in order to understand how I am of value and how I'm able to benefit them right now? That's who your audience is. You also need to know your channels. So this is one of the things that, I really get on so much, because Facebook and Google and all of the other ad platforms that we use, Google search, all of the verticals that people come through. Now, think about your offer and those verticals when you're understanding how people are finding you. So, all right. So here's an example. Facebook. Facebook is an interruption-based marketing method. So when somebody sees your ad, you are literally interrupting them from what they are doing. So the hope is that your ad gives value to their day and somehow, or that your interest targeting when you set up your ad is good enough, is close enough that they are actually kind of you're entering into the conversation that is going on in their brain. You know what I mean? Like if you, let's say you're promoting I don't know, a 3D printer, let's say, because I have one sitting right here. Let's say you're promoting a 3D printer. Well, the 3D printer, that you put the ad on Facebook, obviously somebody who was interested in that 3D printer, they are techs, they're people who work they like 3D printing, they like IT, they like, all of these other things. But when they are scrolling through their newsfeed, checking out all their family stuff, seeing who's safe, seeing, whatever, then they see this ad for a 3D printer move up. You are interrupting, your 3D printer ad is interrupting them in the flow that they are in. It's an interruption-based marketing method. So you have to understand that you are going to be interrupting them so that you can create the ad that will effectively pre-frame your 3D printer so that people, when they click through the ad, are going to buy your thing. So it's a different way of understanding your verticals. Now compare that to like Google. So Google, they are literally going to Google and typing in the search box, 3D printer comparison, or best 3D printer, or buy 3D printer now, or 2-day shipping 3-day printer, because they need to build respirators or whatever. So they are looking for very, very specific, something 3D printing related, very, very specifically. So that person is coming in and they are already pre-framed for what it is you're buying. They're already looking for it. They're literally just looking for you to solve their problem, or at least help them solve their problem. So that is the difference. Google is search-based. Facebook is interruption-based. Pinterest, interruption-based. So many of these social media channels are interruption-based. Amazon is search-based, because people go to Amazon. Amazon is the number 3 search engine in the world, for physical products. So they go to Amazon actually looking for physical products, so they are looking to buy something. So it's search-based. So you need to understand your channels in order to work with them. Now, email traffic is interruption-based, but they already opted in. So it's a little bit, it's more helpful than social, because social, you just have interest. With email, if they already opted in, then kind of what they're into. One of the things that we do in a lot of our sales funnels is we do surveys and we do chatbots so that we segment people into the buckets that they are most interested in. And then we deliver the email marketing and deliver the marketing, based on the buckets they're in. So we get super granular as far as what we serve up based on what they want. And then content marketing, is just an additional arm, because people generally, they go from like a Google search engine to a blog post or content. And then from there, you move, they move through your sales funnel. Now, we talked a little bit about this video sales letter versus traditional sales letter. So your video sales letter, a while ago, many years ago, there was, so the video sales letters were created by a guy named John Benson. And John Benson, basically, he kind of took the long copy sales approach, the long copy sales letters, and he flipped it on its side. And then, you end up going sideways. And the whole reason of a video sales letter is so you control when the offer is going to be made. So typically with long sales copy, what happens is you start at the top here. So I'm going to use my little blog post here as an example. You start at the top, you read the headline. So tactical tips for writing sales letters that convert. Awesome. I get it. Your sales letters, if you watch a screen recording of how somebody interacts with the sales letter, they do this. They start at the top and they go here, and they read this subheadline, then they go here and read this subheadline, maybe look at the image, and then they usually read the third one, or sometimes they don't, and then they go like this, all the way to the bottom, and then they scroll up to see what the price is. Now, this is a blog post, so there's no price. They scroll up, they look for an add to cart button, see how much it is. Then they go down and look at the PS. So in this case, our related articles are going to be our PS. They look at the PS. Typically, all long form sales letters kind of ended with a PS because it was a sales letter. It's, so they read the PS. And then if they were intrigued by the offer, they would scroll all the way back up, and then they would read. They would go through line by line. And how sales letters are engineered, or how they were, was paragraph. You would have your paragraph, and then subheadline, and then so basically your headlines, the primary job of your headline was to get you to then read the subheadline. And the goal of the subheadline was to get you to read the next paragraph, which is usually like the first body copy. So in that way, sales letters were engineered to get you reading all the way down the page, all the way. So there was all kinds of ways. There's all kinds of ways you can use the headlines to like summarize the sales copy and then move them so that if they're reading kind of fast and just doing headlines, then they're able to see what's going on. So let's see. I maybe froze up here. Might have overextended the platform a little bit. But anyway, here, there we go. All right. So it looks like I'm back on. I froze for a real. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if you guys got to see any of that. But anyway, so headlines, subheadlines, moving down the sales copy. So all in all, nice way to get things done. Now I'm going to flip back over here, and then we're going to flip back here. Okay, cool. So I think we're good. Might have been a software glitch, or might have been, I don't know, whatever. So sales copy was meant to get you moving down the sales page so that you were, so you move ultimately all the way down to the add to cart button, to the buy button. And then from there, you're able to purchase. Now, sales videos came along, and so that every video was slide by slide by slide by slide. So this strong calls to action, would be one slide, and then this line, and then this line is one slide, and then this line is one slide, and then this line is one slide. So here we're going to go find a sales video. Let's see. This is a sales video on a black background, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear this. All right. There we go. Let's hit the little volume button.
You looking to diversify your traffic channels with something long-term? If so, let me introduce you to a strategy that'll send you 300% more leads than traditional outbound marketing.
I'm not sure if you can hear that, but this is a more traditional sales letter. So this sales letter is slide by slide by slide. It's a black background, and white letters here. It's actually on this page. So let me just replay this a little bit.
Or are you looking to diversify your traffic channels with something long-term? If so, let me introduce you to a strategy that'll send you 300% more leads than traditional outbound marketing.
Now, so that's a more traditional video sales letter. There's no like fully qualified graphics in this one, or not fully qualified graphics. There's no like full motion graphics in here. Whereas like on our sales funnel page, there is more, there's actual full motion video in here. And let's see. So this started as a sales video, a video sales letter. And then I kind of dubbed in myself, and then 50 pounds heavier. And then I dubbed in a B-roll video on top of that. So through a lot of testing, we actually we've proven for the most case, in most situations, the sales videos that start with a VSL, and then you throw in there's simple PowerPoint based presentations. You just slide, and then you just slide by slide by slide by slide. You just read and read and read. Then from there, you add in B-roll on top of it, or you add in, like a talking human. Then it adds to the conversion. It adds to the number of people who are, watching that sales video. So that has worked out really, really, really well from a conversion standpoint. I think mostly because people, they get bored easily, and literally, if you're just watching slide by slide by slide, it's just like, really, okay, you couldn't try harder than that. I mean, nowadays it's like we all have stronger cameras in our pockets, better cameras in our pockets than when video sales letters first came out, 6 years ago, or 7 or 8 years ago, whatever. Longer than that, might have been 10 now. PowerPoint screen recording was about as good as we were going to do. It was funny. Sebastian was running around here with like an iPhone 3, and I turned it in, I charged it up and gave it to him. And like the screen is like this big, it's like so small, so it's just kind of crazy. So video sales letters versus traditional sales letters. You want to have a video sales letter. It's going to increase conversions. If there's actually a blog post and a video on how to actually create video sales letters on Done For You. So let me see if I can just find it real quick. I can drop a link in here. So yeah, what is a video sales letter? Look at that. So I'm posting this. What is a VSL? Okay. So I just dropped that to everybody, so you don't have to go looking for it. Did it get out? Yeah, it went everywhere. Oh, look, it even went to YouTube that second time. Very cool. So let's see. Your headline should be the most compelling part. So headlines are always the first thing we test in sales videos. Always the first thing we split test is a headline. So that's super important. Personalized content also works nicely, especially if you have. So sometimes with marketing automation, you can so depending on the platform that you are on, like Ontraport, or there's a couple WordPress plugins that can actually dynamically add somebody's first name or last name into it. You can add dates, you can add certain content and certain things based on who is actually watching or who is looking at the content. And you also, as the product owner, as the business owner, you want to share your own personal stories. You want to share some things, that give you humanity, I guess, they show, they show just your personal side. I mean, at the end of the day, that's kind of the big thing about social media is just being real, being honest, being, and so use your words carefully. And then make sure to include benefits and calls to action. So the benefits is really with benefits in your sales video. So one of the best tricks that I learned when it comes to having features and benefits is you always want to, this camera sucks. You always want to make sure that every qualifying statement has a so. So your feature and benefit. Your feature is always going to be the thing before so, and your benefit's going to be the thing after so. So for instance, I say so all the time, and I think it's because I'm a copywriter. It's just kind of how it works. But so see, and then when you call attention to it, you're like, what the fuck? But anyway, I was going to say it again. We launched an ebook called Funnel Factor over the weekend, and it was just something that I had been working on, and finally I got around to it. And we basically took this 19-page ebook that had 4 funnels in it, and we expanded it to 274 pages. So if you go to I'm sure you're going to see an ad for it, because we've had ads and emails and all of that other stuff up. So the 270-page Funnel Factor ebook so you can get better at building your own sales funnels. So feature 274 page ebook. So benefit is you can get better at running your own sales funnels. The cutting edge automated webinar funnel format that we use to launch clients, so you can sell your high ticket programs and products on demand, whatever. Or the 6 to 8 page lead magnet strategy we pioneered, so you can attract more people onto your lead magnet, whatever. So you have feature, so benefit. It's nice and compact that way. So that's literally every single feature needs to have a so. Or else it is not a feature and benefit. It's just a feature, and features don't connect with your end users. So you want to make sure that you include so everywhere. So include the benefits. Strong calls to action. Now the call to action is the thing that I find so many people just kind of glossing through and skipping out on, because it's uncomfortable and weird. So the call to action changes depending on how expensive or how complex your product is. Your sales videos, your webinars, whatever, each of them are going to have a call to action. Your landing pages are going to have a call to action. If you have a low ticket product, the call to action is literally always going to be click the button below to add your item to the shopping cart. It's always going to be the call to action. But there are lots of calls to action. So if you remember, we talked about micro actions in a podcast. So every single time that you want somebody to do anything, you have to make a call to action. So if you want to have them watch a video, you have to make a call to action. Click here to watch the video. If you want them to download your podcast, click here to download your podcast. If you want them to download a lead magnet or buy anything or book a call or whatever, you always have to get them to have some sort of a call to action. You need to make that call to action to them. So the two biggest calls to action that we use that are for revenue are, of course, add to cart, or click to book a strategy session, or click to book an action plan call or a discovery call or whatever. So that is kind of our fully qualified lead format. So the call to action on your sales video is either going to be click the button below to add this widget to your shopping cart, click the button below to add a cart, click the button below to get started now or whatever, or it is going to be click the button below to book a strategy session on my call or on my calendar. So that's it. That's really all there is to it. Transitioning to the call to action is actually pretty easy. So you on a webinar, you recap the content, even in a sales video, recap the content, and then you put a stick in the sand and say, this is the transition. This is how we're going to move from where we were, the content, to where we're going, which is going to be selling you some shit. So once we put the stick in the sand and then we transition into that call to action. And the transition is usually something like, if you are an enterprising business owner who has something of value to offer to the world, click the button below and get my super duper awesome digital video package for $997. There's a 30-day free trial or 30-day money back guarantee, whatever. I mean, obviously it's going to be engineered more than that. I can't necessarily rip copy quite the way that maybe some other people can. I can type it like crazy, which involves editing and backspaces. But, so your call to action, it needs to be apparent. It needs to do something, and it needs to move people, down into the right direction. So never stop split testing your sales pages is going to be the next piece. So your sales letters, whether it's a sales video, whether it's a webinar, whether it's webinar registration, whatever, never, ever, ever stop split testing your sales letters. They are paramount in the success of your business. So, and they also, it will grow and transform and everything with your business. So if you split test your headline first, and you have 5 or 6 different headlines that you're trying, then it will work out. Then you're going to find a winner. Well, generally what you do is you move on to the next thing and you split test the next thing. So how we do it is we test we test headlines, and then we test subheadlines, and then we test like images and buttons. Buttons are a big one, so a button being green or a button being orange. We've even tried red and black. Red and black don't ever work, so don't do those. But red or orange and green, both solid button colors, they will outperform each other, depending on the case. So headlines, subheadlines, buttons, images. If there's no video, if there is video, it's going to be headline, video, subheadline, buttons typically. So that's kind of our testing procedure. But as soon as you go through the whole thing, you redo it. You test the headlines again, then you test. So you go through and you never ever stop testing the sales letters, the sales pages. One of the reasons why you never stop is because you never actually get the winner. Like there's landing pages that I have literally tested. So this landing page, let's see if I can find it real quick. Which window do I have up? Okay, cool. So done for you. Sources. This it? Yeah, this is it. This landing page type right here. Oh, so this is that funnel, the 274 page book I was talking about that I just re-released. It's free, so you can go ahead and download it. So this sales page, I've literally tested 37 times. So everything from buttons to this background subheadline to these subheadlines to these, and this is always the format that wins. The last test that I did, I actually increased this font size to font size 18, and it tested a couple percent better. But this format works tremendously well. Oops, you're not seeing my screen again. There it is. So this format. Now, this is where that ebook is. Let me just throw it in here so you can check it out. So here's the ebook. This ebook is an absolute monster. So definitely download it if you are the least bit interested in selling more shit online. So that's the Funnel Factory book. But this landing page, I've split tested. Like I said, I've split tested, nav bar, no nav bar, logo, no logo, subheadlines, headlines, images. I even had like the little 3D graphic image, and this one tested better than that. So not this particular one, but generally the flat images test better anymore. So just something to think about. Now, split testing, your winning sales letter. So that brings us to the end of this blog post. But so your winning sales letter, your winning sales copy is the thing that works. I mean, literally, that's really about all it is. The sales letter that you have that is the sales copy that you write that is converting more people than not, that is going to be the sales letter that you continue to test, and continue to try to refine and do better and everything else. That's the idea of sales copy. So your sales copy should never be done. It should never be finished. You should always try to do better than what's up there, even if that means only testing to a very small group of people. So 10% or 20% of the traffic that is hitting your webpage, then goes off into this new sales video, and they buy or they don't buy. So that way you're not killing your main core business by testing this new thing. You are very simply testing with just a small portion of the traffic. That is, that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The more and more split tests that you do, the longer, the more dialed in your sales letter is going to be. Now, and it's not just the page. You want to split test the sales copy. You want to split test the webinar. The one thing I will say about the webinars are, you want to make sure to have enough people go through it. You can't have 100, 150 people go through a webinar and then call it bad or call it even good. With the webinar, there's a substantial amount of time and energy and work that goes into it. So the webinar itself, you really want to, like, we use Wistia so that you can see the video metrics, how people drop off of a webinar. And if there is a kind of a lull around minute 14 or whatever, then if there's a lull around minute 14, then you know that you said something wrong on the webinar and they're just not able to, maybe they disagreed with it or whatever, so they end up logging off. So Adam just wrote in with a comment. If I'm going to test, do I need separate ads or can I have a redirect for 10% of the traffic somehow? So Adam, there are split testing tools that you can have a redirect. So one of the ones that we use is Inspectlet, which does screen recording and split testing. The screen recording might be a little odd for you because you're a lawyer. So that might be, you'll check this out. The other one we like is VWO, which is split testing software. And here, wasn't sharing my screen again. So VWO, very, very nice split testing software. What this does is it lets you, there's two different types of split tests, A/B split tests. So the A/B split test, you have 2 pages and you split test side by side, and you can say 95% goes to one and 5% goes to the other. And then if the 5% wins, then you can redirect all traffic to the 5%, and then you can start another split test B. Inspectlet does the same. It does A/B testing, but you will also get the addition of like a screen recording software. So screen recording is super nice for if you just want to see how somebody interacts with a page. So it actually takes a screen recording of how people are moving through it. So these are the 2 tools that we like, VWO and Inspectlet. The other one, which doesn't do split testing, but is super, super nice for just analytics wise, Hotjar. So Hotjar they do screen recordings, they do heat maps, they do even like this cool sales funnel flow. So you can see people as they move through the sales funnel. So does that help? Cool. All right. I think that's about it. So sales videos, sales copy. We did some split testing stuff. If you let me know what you want me to talk about tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am going live. Go to doneforyou.com/GSD for Get Shit Done. Ask questions. There's a little form there that embed. Actually, I need to swap out today because I stopped using Restream and started using StreamYard. And this is way cool because I get to actually comment now. Cool. And if anybody has any questions at all, if you need me, just let me know. Go to doneforyou.com. Little chat box in the lower right-hand corner, right there. This literally comes to me. So just go ahead and let me know if there's anything I can do, and we'll go from there. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.